A large destructive tornado is bearing down on two neighbors just to the southeast of Louisville, Kentucky. Local TV station WAVE Channel 3 takes the unprecedented step of breaking into NBC Nightly News.
Okay, here is the deal. We've had a tornado touch down, semi-blown off Interstate 65. We've now had a report of debris in the sky. Tornado going across extreme northern Bullitt County.
Patrolman David Reed was on duty in the Pioneer Village community.
As soon as it popped over the hill, there was no mistake. It was definitely a tornado. Everything was flying. You could see what looked like tops of houses. I'm sure it wasn't. It just looked like it. But there was a lot of debris everywhere.
The calls start to flood into the Bullitt County 911 center.
I'm in Pioneer Village. We have total mass destruction up here.
Advise you have just damage to houses or houses down.
Houses damaged, unable to locate any injured at this time.
The tornado was on the ground for over 10 minutes. At one stage, with winds as fierce as 220 miles an hour. An F4 on the Fujita scale. First, it touched down in Brooks, Kentucky, then swept across Interstate 65, knocking over tractor trailers before plowing through the communities of Hillview, Pioneer Village, and Mount Washington. Emergency crews rushed to the scene. They began a house-to-house search, fearing the worst.
I would look at the house and wonder, well, where was you at in that house if you were still alive? Some of the houses, there's nothing but foundations left, and people were in them and lived to it.
Friends and relatives began the frantic search for loved ones.
How many people was there? A wife and kids. How many kids? I had two. Okay. Two, my sister's wife and her kids. Okay. They're either going to be at the church, the fire department, or North Bullitt High School. Okay. Everybody that's not injured is going to North Bullitt High School.
The scope of devastation was incredible. The tornado was 1/3 of a mile wide. Whole communities were destroyed in a matter of minutes. The view from above told the story.
When I got up in the air, I still just could not believe that the way everything was twisted, mangled, cars thrown everywhere, people's property scattered for blocks and blocks. And I still just could not believe it. Even though I witnessed it come through, I still could not believe it.
Residents got very little warning. Most people took cover when they saw the tornado approach. Taking into account the devastation, it was amazing that only 37 people were injured, and none of them seriously. Unbelievably, no one lost their life. Luckily, the storm had hit around dinner time, and not during the night.
We heard the furniture flying around and hitting the walls, and we heard the roof being torn off the house, and the window, the glass in the windows we could hear it crashing and flying around. It was really, really scary. Really scary.
It was just incredible. I mean, it's still today, it'll send chills down your spine if you sit down and think about the numbers of homes that were damaged, the devastation of the storm, and, you know, every home we went into, you're anticipating that you're going to find someone. And so we were very overwhelmed that no fatalities at all.
Since the tornado, the communities of northern Bullitt County have bounced back. The residents of Hillview, Mount Washington, and Pioneer Village intend to rebuild their homes and lives.
No. It may never come this way again. I could go down the road here a little bit and build a house. It'll all come right through there again.
The tornado and its aftermath have caused many to reflect on that night. John Belsky at WAVE is no exception.
Can't describe the feeling when I found out, you know, no fatalities, very few injuries. When you talk about over 1,000 homes damaged, a lot of them destroyed by it, gives you a good feeling right here. That's what it's all about. Hey, people are listening. People are paying attention. Good for them.
Tornadoes, though, do not always strike in daylight. This was the tragic case in Fort Smith, Arkansas on Sunday, April 21st. A twister ripped through the area just after 11 p.m. Residents received little warning as the storm hampered communication between the National Weather Service and local emergency management officials. 2 children were killed, and at least 50 people were injured. Much of the damage was done in the historic downtown area.
Oh, my God. Look at
People
the
in a
debris.
small Wisconsin town were more fortunate when they had their own brush with a terrifying tornado in late July.
I've seen them, but nothing like that. That is massive. Oh, my God. Your parents' house, honey.
This tornado, captured on home video, swept through the town of Oakfield just north of Milwaukee a little after 7 local time. Joanne Jarabic and her family watched the storm from their porch.
I'm trying to figure out what that's all flying in the air over there.
Trees.
Look at the size of that. Chunks of stuff. Whatever it
Listen
is.
to that noise.
Cornell. Tell me that Cornell.
You had better hurry, because you're going to be in the basement in a matter of a few minutes here.
The tornado was on the ground for 20 minutes and left a path of destruction for 11 miles. The National Weather Service classified the tornado as an F4, although at one point it did reach F5 with winds over 260 miles per hour. 44 homes and 5 businesses were destroyed. 14 people were injured. Luckily, no one was killed by the storm. 2 days later, a lady in Norton Shore, Michigan, over 125 miles away, found a canceled check from Oakfield. The tornadic thunderstorm and strong upper-level winds had combined to send the check on its marathon journey. 1 week later, this tornado tore through the tiny New Mexico town of Cimarron. The twister ripped through downtown, damaging over 60 buildings. 5 people were injured, but fortunately, no one was killed. This spring and summer, major tornadoes hit various small communities, destroying hundreds of homes and affecting numerous lives. If these storms had hit large metropolitan areas, the amount of death and destruction would have been enormous. Next on Tornado Chase 96, an incredible up-close and personal view of not one, but 2 tornadoes.
Mike Klein's been my State Farm agent for 9 years, and he's been a coach in the community for 3. He's as dedicated to those kids as he is to his policyholders. The most important thing that I can do right now in my life is to protect my family and future. The way he handles my life insurance shows it's important to him, too. My other friends who have State Farm life insurance say the same thing about their agents. No, I think there is something to this good neighbor business.
It's coming to your town. It's coming to your street. It's coming to your home.
Coming right at us.
Twister, for sale on video October 1st.
This Subaru Outback is pretty impressive.
What's wrong there?
It gets better gas mileage than a Cherokee, holds a turn tighter than a Blazer.
Don't forget acceleration.
Acceleration.
That's right. Go 0 to 60 faster than an Explorer.
Competition must be worried.
Oh, yeah. It's scared stiff. Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
Visit your nearest Subaru dealer today to experience the beauty of all-wheel drive.
It's coming to your town. It's coming to your street. It's coming to your home.
Coming right at us.
Twister, for sale on video October 1st.
Finding tornadoes is not easy. A great amount of luck is involved. It is even more difficult to capture tornadoes on video. But what if you turned on your TV and saw not one, but 2 tornadoes live? That's what happened on Thursday, May 30th in Colorado. KCNC TV4 in Denver tracked the severe storms as they swept over the Rockies.
Up and left from that, we have a very strong thunderstorm complex going on in southwest Logan County and Weld County. That has prompted a tornado warning as well. Let's put
the station's helicopter was dispatched to fly toward the storms around Morgan County, 60 miles northeast of Denver. Pilot Mike Silva was at the controls.
Lo and behold, we saw the precursors for some rotation and some tornadic activity, and out pops 2 tornadoes at the same time. It was pretty amazing. I haven't seen anything like that ever before.
As Chopper 4 flew closer to the tornadoes, they beamed back these unbelievable pictures. The station took the dramatic pictures live in their 4 p.m. newscasts.
Some people may have a fear of tornadoes. Copter 4 may have one for us right now. Luann Aiken looks like one. Tell us about it.
Basically, Larry, the funnel that we saw on the left, the tornado on the left has fallen apart. We're now showing you what was earlier seen as a smaller tornado on the right-hand side of this screen. It appeared to fall apart a little bit, and it is building once again, and you see a very distinctive rope in the upper level of that funnel cloud. And as you can see it clearly coming out of a very, very dark cloud. And as the photographer David Gregg tilts down just a little bit, there's a wide and a very expansive debris cloud on the ground.
The chopper hovered only a half a mile away from the tornadoes.
It's not the tornado or the funnel cloud that's dangerous to us in that aircraft. It's the hail. My primary directive is to negotiate the hail, because it's the hail that'll hurt.
The tornadoes were spectacular. Both classic Colorado tornadoes with a very high cloud base. They were on the ground for 20 minutes, and both had debris bases of over half a mile. The crew of Mike, reporter Luann Aiken, and photographer David Gregg watched the progression of the tornadoes as they continued to move.
It had to have been one of the most exciting in the context of weather chasing, storm chasing, if you will, storm spotting. There's no question. And we've had some big tornadoes in the past, but to have 2 major tornadoes this particular size and being this close to them, and of course being live, it was amazing.
The tornadoes damaged a couple of outlying farmhouses, but no one was killed or even seriously injured. People had received sufficient warning. As Channel 4 viewers watched these amazing scenes from the air, Daniel and Cammie Justman, with their children Emily and Isaac, were driving home from a family vacation in Missouri when they had their encounter with the twin tornadoes. Leaving the tornadoes behind, the Justins continued safely to their home in Greeley. Unlike the Justin family, Mike Cosman was already at home as the tornadoes formed near his property in Morgan County.
Whoa, baby. Oh, my God, this is going to hurt.
Luckily, the tornadoes moved away from Cosman's residence. As this excitement was going on, storm chasers Greg Thompson, Jason Machamkin, and Matt Wolf were having their own adventures south of Fort Morgan.
When we got out of the car in brush and took a look at the situation, we just, figured that the northern storm didn't look as good, that the updraft was narrow, had lots of pockets of holes in it where it really wasn't as strong as the other updraft. So at that point, that's when we really made the decision to go south and southeast from there to the other storm. It was definitely a good decision.
I can see a lowering now starting to develop on the leading side of that updraft. It's really starting to look pretty potent.
At 4:28 p.m. in the flat, desolate countryside, the excitement began.
Okay, look. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, we have a funnel. We have a nice-looking funnel cloud. We are close. We have a tornado. Circulation on the ground. How much room? Here? Okay, right after this one. Oh, yeah! Oh, wow! Oh, beautiful! Just beautiful! We have a tornado! That's beautiful! Look at that! Oh, look at that! Look at that rotation into it! It's multiple vortex tornado. Oh! Wow! Oh, wow! Oh, look at that. That is spectacular. That's the biggest tornado I've ever seen. That is the best tornado I've ever seen. It's huge! Oh, wow!
They were not the only chasers enjoying the spectacular sight. Storm chaser Dean Cosgrove was also very close to the tornado.